Hey, I'm Kimberly Joy. Welcome to my channel. Hey, so I'm a Disney fan, and the first thing I want to get out there is I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the corporation of Disney, but because I grew up back in the day of early Disney and going to Disneyland Park with my family when I was little, that's where my joy of Disney comes. And I really enjoy going to the parks. And I love the Fab Five, Mickey and Goofy and Minnie and Donald and Pluto and that kind of stuff. Some of the newer Disney stuff, you know, I take it with a grain of salt because it is what it is as times change. But I still have an ultimate joy of going to the parks. And today I wanted to share my favorite place in the park and why. So there's this little place in the park, and it's just to, if you're looking at the castle, just to the right of it, along a little path that most people don't even notice. I mean, I had been going to Disney for years before I ever discovered it, because when you're young, you're just all about jumping from ride to ride, and then when your kids are little, you're bouncing around, following them around, and hitting all the rides, and that kind of stuff. But as I got older and my kids had a little more freedom to kind of go up on their own, I started wandering. I started wandering through the park more, and I came across Snow White's Grotto. Now, if you've never seen it before, it's the most magical place. It's quiet. There's rarely anybody else back there. I mean, even on a crowded day, there might be one or two people that pass by. But for the most part, it's very, very quiet back there. And it's this waterfall, and you can hear the echo of Snow White singing. At night, it's beautiful, it's all lit up, and it's just peaceful. And I always joke with my daughter that when I die, that's where she needs to sprinkle my ashes. Disney, I'm just kidding. It's not, don't come after me. Maybe. Because that is my happy place. It really, truly is my happy place. Coins that are dropped into the well when you make a wish are donated to children's charities. So those coins go to help other wishes come true. So I thought that was kind of special too. The grotto was opened and designated by Walt himself in 1961, and he held a big dedication ceremony with children from representing other countries, maybe a little throwback to, or part of the small world idea, I don't know, but he had children there from other countries when he dedicated it. But there's a little story about it goes through the statues. So the statues were commissioned to be carved by an artist in Italy. And when he carved the statues out of marble, he made them all the same size. He was kind of coming from the idea of some soaps that had been carved in the shapes of the characters, and they were all the same size, meaning all the dwarves were the same size, as well as Snow White was the same size, so that they would fit in the box. And so the marble statues that were carved for Walt were all the same size. And so when he received his statues, he decided they needed to go in the park somewhere. And he talked to his, at that time, Imagineer, John Hench at the time, and he says, find some place for these in the park. So John got busy on it, and he was thinking, oh my goodness, where am I going to put these? Anywhere I put them, it's going to look like a graveyard. These are going to look like headstones. And Walt was like, don't make it look like a cemetery. You'll come up with something, I trust you. So eventually, John did come up with the idea of the waterfall. And for two reasons. One, because it wouldn't look like a cemetery. But two, he knew because the Snow White statue was no taller than the dwarfs, he was going to have to use forced perspective, which they do a lot in Disney, to make Snow White look a little taller than she was by placing her up high and then the dwarves down lower. When they talked about maybe having the Snow White statue carved larger, the expense of it was just ridiculous. And so it was better just to to do the forced perspective idea. And that's what they did. And hence the Snow White Grotto was born. So anyway, that's my happy place in Disneyland. And I always make sure that I walk by it. And this grotto has been replicated in some of the other Disney parks. I think I saw one in Disney Tokyo, or I forget what YouTube video I saw, but it has been replicated in other parks because it is so special. So next time you're at Disney and you just want to see something magical, walk to the castle, but don't go up the pathway. Take quite to the right and go around the side of the castle. Not as far as like you're going to go around into like past the Matterhorn and Fantasyland. It's actually a little tiny path, and you'll go past that little path and you'll find the wishing well and the grotto, and you'll be able to hear Snow White singing. And then that path actually continues into a side entrance to Fantasyland on the other side of the castle entrance. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's just a quick little tip. And as a grandma, I like to share these things with my grandkids. So maybe it's something special you can share with your grandkids next they come and give them a little bit of history on it. Have a good one.